everyone, this is Xanthi and welcome to my channel In Two Pieces. Now today I'm going to talk about vertical puzzles. And by vertical puzzles, I mean those skinny, narrow, tall puzzles, not the portrait puzzles like this one. So we're used to seeing landscape orientated, portrait orientated puzzles. But what I'm talking about are these vertical puzzles. So these vertical puzzles, they tend to be, from what I've noticed, about 90 centimeters tall and about 30 centimeters wide. Not sure what that is in inches. There we go, about 13 inches by 37 inches, thereabouts. So I noticed that they don't seem to get a lot of love. So this is the reason for this video. Because after Googling around a bit, I saw that not many brands seem to do vertical puzzles. Now I realize that some artwork doesn't lend itself to vertical puzzles, though some do. I noticed Hey is a brand that probably seems to produce the most vertical puzzles. In fact, they even have a series of them. There's one called Enigma Trees, which is great because trees are quite vertical. So there's a few in that, I think, and the Zozoville, I think, maybe have one or two in their series that are vertical puzzles. There's Eurographics, I know have a few, and I've got one here. This is called Academic Cat, and I mean, it's kind of funny because at the back they just advertise all their panoramic ones, and panoramic puzzles are definitely more common and probably more popular. But yeah, in my collection, I really only have two vertical puzzles. And this is the Hey Tinga Tinga series. And this one's called Stalks. Sort of African art sort of theme to those ones. But yeah, I've only got two. So I thought I would do them and then we'll see how I went. Well, my one concern is the logistics of doing these, because my plan is to do them in the right orientation. So I'm not going to turn them sideways and do them as a panoramic. I'm going to see what it's like to do as vertical. So already when I was setting up my table, already I was like, oh, is my table big enough? Is this foam, board going to be big enough? And, how am I going to sit? So it'll be interesting to see if I can manage it. And also interesting to see if I can manage to actually film it all, because that is going to be tricky to get the whole puzzle in without turning it around or cutting it in half. And anyway, we'll see what happens. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. Oh, just one more thing I forgot to mention. I have done vertical puzzles in the past. I think I've done two, and quite some time ago, and they were both by Masterpieces, and I think both of them were 500 piece puzzles. And but yeah, that was a while ago and I've moved those puzzles on. I don't have them, but I've got photographs which I'll share. And the curious thing about their vertical puzzles is that, well, at least the ones I've come across, is that the box has like a flap that you lift up and then you can see the entire image that you're puzzling. So I thought that was quite unique. But yeah, that was it. Probably Masterpieces, a little bit of Ravensburger, Hey, and Eurographics that I've come across so far. But yeah, a 500 piece, I don't remember it being all that big, but we'll see. We'll see what we get with these two. So now let's get into it. All right, so I've done some sorting here. What we've got is a whole heap of blue. That's at the bottom of the puzzle. Then I noticed a lot of these legs because, of course, I mean, look at them. There's a lot of long legs there. Then I sorted a whole heap of like what I'll call the dotty sort of things there, like bits in the trees. Then there was the grass and other sort of various shades of green that, pop up there. And then this is a little bit of a mess. Anything that I sort of saw that had like some very solid straight lines, obviously you can see there's a lot of lines happening along the birds. And the edge pieces, now I don't know about you, but pretty much I never get all the edge pieces in one go. So I suspect there might be some more here. So I don't normally sort. Oh, I think there's another edge piece there I saw, maybe. Yep. So yeah, I'm not someone who sorts an entire puzzle before I get started. I like to sort in several different piles just to get me going. And then I will continue on the sort and maybe do some micro sorts as well. Yeah, so, oh, is that another one? Yeah, see what I mean? I never find them all at once. It goes into that pile. Yeah, so now just start building. Well, that's most of the border done until we get up to about here. And that's when I sort of started to struggle. Yeah, and obviously I've got like pieces missing that are probably still in the mixed up pile, and I'm missing one there. Yeah, I figured I'd stop with the border, and then I will go back to it when I'm less frustrated. But as you can see from the time lapse already, I'm starting to struggle a bit with how tall this puzzle is, because yeah, I had to move around onto the around the table and stand and lean over, and yeah, and apologies for any wonky sort of angles with this camera, because yeah, it's just all a little bit difficult at the moment. So I've decided what I'm going to do next is work from the bottom going up. So the blue of the water, and then moving up to the green grass, and then maybe I can find this sort of peach colored here. It's a bit of a gradient happening. So yeah, I might, just to make it a bit easier for myself, I might just work from the bottom up, at least part of the way. Yeah. I think I have seriously underestimated how hard this puzzle is. Because, yeah, look at all this blue. Oh, and this is all I've done. Yeah, I sort of try to follow a gradient there because it's darker at the top and it gets lighter as it goes down. But yeah, it is proving to be quite tricky. So this is where we are at. So I think I have done pretty much the bottom third of this puzzle, and I've done a bit more there of the actual stalks. There is quite a lot of gaps to fill in, which is mostly the tree and the background images. So I've got like all this pink and red sort of background to do. I've got a whole heap of these dotty pieces, which are bits of the tree. Some more sort of spots there. Quite a few sort of dark purple, dark blue, which I suspect would be the mountain at the top. And a few other sort of pieces to go in. So yes, doing it this way in this orientation has definitely proved to be quite a challenge to do and to video and photograph, but we'll keep at it. Well, that was a ride. Now, I know at the beginning of this video, I said that I would be doing 2 puzzles, including this one, along with this one. But this was such a difficult, well, the puzzle itself wasn't difficult, but it was difficult filming, and it was difficult doing it in vertical style. So I think I will leave this one for a later date. So now what I mean by difficult is that I set out to do a vertical puzzle in the vertical alignment. Now, I knew that was going to be kind of difficult because it's quite sort of tall, and I would be reaching forward, and yeah, my back was hurting. I did find that I think maybe about 2/3 of the puzzle I could do just reaching over like that. But as you see in the time lapse, it did get to the point, maybe with the top third, that I was often like going around, walking around to the other side and working on the puzzle upside down. And also you'll see in the footage that my partner Marcus helped me a bit, and he was only doing it for a few minutes and already he was complaining about his back hurting. So yeah, filming it was quite difficult again because it's just so tall. Now I realize when you do larger piece counts, that's going to be challenging getting the whole thing in shot. But yeah, as I'm fairly new to this, it has been quite interesting trying to film doing a vertical puzzle. So yeah, I really don't know how I would cope doing something like the 2000 Ravensburger Guinness World Records puzzle, which I think was used in I think in 2024, as like a sort of a team race. I think there was about 10 puzzlers from each sort of country like working on their puzzle, and that one just looks like an utter nightmare. Just doing this 1000 piece one was challenging to do as a vertical puzzle, but doing a 2000, obviously the way really to do vertical puzzles is to turn them sideways and treat them as panoramic. Now, I feel that kind of defeats the purpose of doing vertical puzzles. So if you're someone who doesn't mind doing puzzles upside down or almost completely sideways, um, you're fine. I tend to not like to do puzzles like that. Obviously, when I'm working in with a team, I will sometimes do that because it's just required. But we will often like swap around and what have you. But just for my personal preference, I like to do puzzles in the way they are. The image is orientated. Even portrait style puzzles, I like to do them the right way up if I can. If I'm doing it on a board that's not going to really hold it, I will do it sideways. But my preference is to do it the right way up. So my take on vertical puzzles is that if you don't mind working on them upside down, sideways for the majority of the time, go for it. Otherwise, for me, vertical puzzles is seems to be more about the end image rather than the puzzling experience. So what I mean by that is that, do I want to do a puzzle sideways or upside down? Not really. But if the image is gorgeous and it is something that really appeals to me, and there's a reason for it to be vertical, like, you know, those hay trees series, yeah, they look great as a vertical puzzle. Vertical puzzles just for the sake of being vertical puzzles you know, wouldn't bother with that. Obviously with this one, I do think that it is justified to do it as a vertical puzzle, because, you know, you got all of that, it makes sense. um so yeah, all up, beautiful puzzle, beautiful colors. Really enjoyed doing the image itself. It was harder than I was expecting, but you know, it wasn't like frustrating or anything like that. But yeah, I think if I was just normally going to do this, I would do it side on, and just I think I would have coped okay. And again, as you can see in the footage, I did use trays quite a lot. I would build like islands on trays and then move them into place because that was easier on my back, because I could have the trays near me, work on the puzzle, and then I can just slide them roughly to where they need to go and then gradually join the islands up. So that's how I coped with it. Um, would I buy another vertical puzzle? Yes, I would, if the image really appealed to me. But like I said, there doesn't seem to be all that many out there. But yeah, I'm open to it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Apologies for any of the footage that might be weird angles and things chopped off, whatever. I did my best. Um, but I would love to know if you've done a vertical puzzle and what it was, because I'm sure there's way more out there that I didn't come across, and any other brands other than the ones I mentioned earlier that do seem to do vertical puzzles. Yeah, and what did you think of them? And more importantly, how did you do them? Did you do them sideways? Did you move around upside down on them? Yeah, I think if they were smaller, you could do, and physically smaller, not just the piece counts, but physically smaller, you probably could do them from, you know, in a vertical orientation. But yeah, this 1,000 piece, and although the hay pieces are not all that big, 1,000 pieces, you know, it did turn out to be quite a tall puzzle. So that's it for this video. Um, if you have found this informative or entertaining and you want to come back and see more, please hit the subscribe button and I will catch you later. See ya.